Welcome to Late Night Football. Welcome to our match reaction show. It has finished Juventus 3, Como nil. A fantastic start for Juventus under Thiago Motta. Probably not so much of a disaster start for Cesc Fabregas and Como. But well done, Juventus. Fantastic, well played. A lot of questions over the summer, of course, about Juventus, about a new era. Max Allegri has left the club after so long. With them, didn't have the best of seasons last season as well. And of course, Thiago Motta coming off of a wonderful period with Bologna, but this is a massive step up for him as well. So they'll have more sterner challenges going forward. I'm pretty sure about that. I don't think Como really put up much of a fight. And of course, Como will be in a relegation battle this season. That is pretty much guaranteed. So not necessarily the toughest of Serie A opposition out there. But that being said, I think you can only beat what's in front of you. And as far as test score, I think probably Motta would have been happy that his first game for Juventus was against Como at home. It doesn't really get much easier than that in Serie A. But that being said, could have been a banana skin, but they've navigated it successfully. Got 3 points, 3 goals, some scintillating attacking football, and really, really good performance to see. So definitely a lot to be happy about. Definitely a lot to be pleased about. If you're a Juventus fan, if you're Thiago Motta, there's definitely a lot to take away from that. 3 very good goals as well. It's got to be said. I think some really good play, and there was some surprises in the team selection. I think I'm forgetting his name here, but how do you pronounce it? I have it here done somewhere. Mbangula played really, really well. I thought the man of the match for me, by the way. It's much like for Mbangula, if he was your man of the match as well. Definitely was my man of the match. Played really well in this game. Got a goal, got an assist, and there were good goal. That was a good goal, a good solo individual goal, very good free flowing move. And the assist for Cambiaso's goal towards the end was also very, very good. It's a good cross as well. So definitely one to watch, and hopefully he will get a lot of game time this season. And I thought Thuram had a very good game as well. But if he had played the full 90 minutes, I think Thuram would have been my man of the match, because he was so good in the 60-65 minutes that he played. The kind of midfielder that I think Juventus have been searching for since Vidal left, since Marchisio has left. I think they've been searching for that kind of midfielder, the kind of all action, all encompassing midfielder, and I think they might have found that finally in Thuram. And along with Yildiz was pretty good as well. That midfield really well. I thought Locatelli was a little bit off today. But I think Yildiz and Thuram were so good that they kind of carried Locatelli a little bit with him. Locatelli wasn't bad. I think it was an average 6 today. But Thuram and Yildiz were just outstanding in that midfield, and that allowed Locatelli to be average, and yet Juventus still coasted through. And Douglas Luiz is yet to come into this team as well. So if Locatelli is not careful, he might be the one standing on the outs watching Luiz, Thuram, and Yildiz starting a lot of games. But certainly a very, very good performance from Juventus. The 3 goals, I said, really good as well. The first goal, and what I think was interesting is I think both the first 2 goals were scored on transitions. The first goal definitely was scored on transition. We watched it back there. It's a wonderful win in midfield. I think it was Thuram who won it, but I could be wrong. But I think Thuram was the one who won the ball initially, and then they play it nicely through. Somehow the ball makes its way to Mbangula, because I think maybe it could have been cut off before, but it somehow found its way to Mbangula, and then it's a nice run from Yildiz across the goal, which takes away the defender. So Mbangula has space to come inside, and it's a good shot. It's a very calm, composed shot. Because it's easy from those situations to get excited and overhit it over the bar or slash it wide, but he showed a lot of good composure to find that bottom corner away from Reina, and Juventus got the lead. That was great, and again getting the second goal before halftime was also critical, and it was a very good finish again from Weah. And there I thought Vlahovic showed a lot of composure as well, because Yildiz put the cross in. Vlahovic could easily have said, no, I'm the striker, I've got to take it, but he has awareness that no, Weah behind me is in a better position, so he dummies it. Fantastic from Vlahovic, by the way. And Weah, even though he's injured, manages to get his shot away, and it's goal line technology of course says that it's gone in. And that is 2-0. So those are 2 very good goals. I thought Cambiaso's goal was kind of a bit of an icing on the cake. The game was over by that point, but it's good to add gloss, and of course it's one that puts Juventus top of the table as well. So it's a good goal from Cambiaso as well. But I thought the damage was done in that first half. Vlahovic, he should have had a hat trick today. I think probably I think Juventus could have been won this 5-0, 6-0 really, but he should have had a hat trick today. Hit the post twice. But probably the second one would have been saved anyway. But the shot before that Reina saved was the one I think that he should have probably converted. And of course scored the goal, which was called for offside. I've got to say, I like VAR. I like that. I like this semi-automated tech. But God, that VAR decision on offside. I mean, that is just, it's unbelievable. Tell me what you thought of that, because I thought that's unbelievable. It's always just like a bit of the goal scoring shoulder part that's offside, the tightest of offsides. And if it was shown on the lines, you'd probably be thinking, what the hell? But because it's semi-automated VAR, we can probably see it clearly. But it's just like a little bit of a hair's bit of a shoulder. It was offside of one of the players. I'm not sure who it was on that side, but he was a bit offside, and therefore the goal was ruled out. And it was very early in the move as well. And I don't blame the ref for not catching that, because I didn't catch. I don't think anybody caught it. I don't think anybody could have been expected to catch it, but it was caught. And yeah, it's unfortunate, because I think Vlahovic, his overall play deserved the goal. He was quite good today. He played very well. He'll hopefully get a lot more chances in the coming games to add to his goal tally. Today he couldn't get a goal, which I think he deserved. But it was a good play, and he should have probably had a hat-trick. The first in the first half, he also hit the post, if you remember. So there was a lot of good chances, and I think what will please Juventus fans a lot, I think, in this game, is the fact that they created a lot of chances. They scored 3 goals, but they could have easily scored 5-6 goals, and that is going to please Motta a lot. There were nervy moments in between where I think Juventus fans lost the ball a bit cheaply in midfield. That will happen because Como pressed very well. We'll talk about Como as well, but I thought there were a few nervy moments, but they came through that quite well. Remember, it was also a pretty youthful side, because they had Gatti was there, who was actually the captain for whatever reason today, and then you had Fagioli coming on, who's still young. Yildiz is pretty young, and Mbangula is pretty young. So a lot of young talent. Thuram is not that old either. So a lot of young players, and it's a very young team that I think Juventus is now trying to rebuild and build, a new side, a new youthful side. So that is there, and that has to be taken into account as well. But I think and given Cabal, I think is not that old. So they had opportunities. But I think what was great about Juventus is they showed a lot of maturity. Even though Como had opportunities, they had chances maybe to get something. I think Juventus showed a lot of maturity in dealing with whatever Como threw at them. The one area of criticism, as I spoke about, is the fact that there were some cheap giveaways in possession, and maybe against better teams like Inter or Milan or Lazio, or even Roma for that matter, they might struggle against those teams if they give away possession that way. But I think that's a consequence of the way that Juventus are trying to play, that they are going to try to play a lot of vertical passes. They are going to try to move the ball quickly, and sometimes when you do that, you do tend to give away possession cheaply. That happens. So that's something. But what was encouraging was the fact that even after giving away possession, the players wouldn't give up. I mean, there was a moment where Cambiaso, I think, gave the ball away in the first half, and what he's doing is he's sprinting back to win it back. He's not letting that be, I've given away the ball. No, he's running back to try and make sure that he wins it back, and he did win it back. So that is important, right? It can happen that in a team as Juventus are playing, where they're playing high pressing, quick transition football, because we're playing a lot of quick transitions today. When you play that, you tend to give the ball away. You tend to misplace passes. But what's important is that whoever's given the ball away does not necessarily go frustrated, whatever, no, he actually runs back, and he's making sure that he's trying to win the ball back. And I think that was important. I think that is something that will please Motta a lot. I think that if you're a Juventus fan, that is something that can please you a lot as well, because you want to see players doing that more often. You don't want to see players simply giving up when they've given the ball away or being lethargic. I think you want to see them high energy and high press, and also tracking back and trying to cover for their mistakes. So I like that. From Como's point of view, I think we got to say that Como, I think, played. I mean, they played to their ability. At the end of the day, I think Como are going to be a side that's going to be battling relegation. So Juventus, whether losing to Juventus isn't the end of the world for them. They probably were expected to lose to Juventus. I think if Como's first game was against Juventus at home rather than away, I think that would have been interesting. And I think I backed them to do well in the next one, because normally the first game for a promoted side at home is always an interesting one, and you don't want to be the team that plays a newly promoted side at home in their first game of the season. You never want to do that, and the Juventus will be glad that they've avoided that. But I think if they had played at home, Como, then maybe things might have been different. But as it stood, I think playing away from home, it's not the ideal start. It's not the team that you would want to play, but they really they tried to give a good account of themselves, but at times they kind of looked okay, but other times they just looked like they were a level lower than Juventus, at least a level, maybe even 2 3 levels lower. Like they look like a side that has just come up from Serie A B. It showed in their performance. What was encouraging, if there is an encouragement to take for Fabregas, I think it's about the pressing at times is really good from Como. I think they pressed really well. You could see that as well in the way that they were playing. They were really pressing high up the pitch. They were trying to be expressive on the ball. They were trying to harry the Juventus players, and they did do that. Quite a few occasions they did do that. The problem was they never really could hold on to the ball because Juventus didn't just stop when they got pressed. They said, fine, one person's lost the ball, I'm going to go and try back and win it, or I'm going to run forward and win it. And that's, I think, something that maybe Como were not expecting. And as a team, you don't normally expect that, right? You expect if you press, you win, and then you take that forward. But sometimes what happens is there is counter pressing as well. And so the counter pressing from Juventus, I think, was really, really good today. And I think that probably Como were not prepared for. So from that perspective, I think it will please. Not a lot of teams will counter press like Juventus did. That's quite obvious. So probably Como will have better luck in future games. Have I seen enough to say that they will avoid relegation? I'm not sure at the moment. I mean, the transfer window is still open, and apparently they are trying to get a couple of more players in. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with transfers before I can say, oh, this player is coming, or this player is, or this team is going to do well, or that team is going to do well. I think if they can add a couple more bodies in, what the team will look like after that would then be a more accurate judge of whether Como will avoid relegation or not. But at the moment, it's quite obvious that they are going to be in a relegation fight. It is going to be a long season for them, but hopefully they come through it. And all the best to them. But from Juventus' point of view, I think the title challenge now has to be the season. The title challenge, I mean, that's always a minimum, isn't it, for Juventus? But I think this season especially, they've got to try and challenge for that title. The fact of the matter is that last season they kept pace with Inter for so long, and then suddenly just fell away in spectacular fashion. The way they fell away, I think they were second for very long, and then they were fighting for fifth or fourth at one point in time. That's not what you want as a club. You don't want to be in that position. I think they ultimately finished fifth, didn't they? So you don't want to be in that position of tailing away that ways, and you want to be in the top 4, top 2 positions. If you're Juventus, that's a bare minimum. Top 4 is a bare minimum, but you ideally want to be top 1, top 2. So this season, I think they'll definitely be looking to challenge for the title, and this is a good start. I think this game will give them a lot of encouragement. Also keep in mind that Napoli lost, Roma drew, Milan drew, Inter drew, so they've now got like a bit of a head start on potential title rivals. They've got a head start on them, and that is important from Juventus' point of view as well. Just that early little bit of psychological advantage. I still feel Inter are the favourites. I still feel Inter probably have the best all-around squad, I think, at the moment. But what Juventus have shown today is that if they are lucky with injuries, and if Inter have a bit of a level drop, then Juventus can be there to capitalize and to pounce on it. And you know what, as a fan of Serie A, I don't have any dog in the race. I like Milan, I have a soft spot for Milan, but I'm not strongly in favour of one team or the other. I would like a new champion, because it always helps the league when you don't have one team dominating for way too long. And when you keep having different champions, I think it speaks to the health of the league as well. So I would like to see a new champion, but at the same time, I'm not that fussed about who it is. But that being said, I think it bodes well for Serie A that they have a strong Juventus that is also challenging for the title, and it helps Serie A if there's this exciting, engaging title race. And for that, you need strong teams. Let's hope that even if Inter win it, Juventus push them all the way, or whoever wins it, there are other teams pushing them all the way. If you have 3-4 clubs in the title race come April, May, that's even better. They're optimistic, but let's hope for that. And I think Juventus today have shown that they can be in that title conversation. They can be a team that can trouble Inter Milan with the retention of the title, and that's all you can ask for. At the end of the day, as a fan, that is all you can ask for. I thought today's game was really, really good. But like I said, Mbangula, my man of the match. It's much like if he was your man of the match. I thought he played really well. And you know what? You didn't know Chiesa was not there. Federico Chiesa, who has so much talk about him, he's probably on his way to Chelsea. He's probably on his way somewhere else in Italy. You didn't even realize. I only realized when the commentators started talking about him. Otherwise, I didn't even know he was missed, because Weah played pretty well, and Mbangula played pretty well. I thought Vlahovic played quite well. So they've got that cover, and they're trying to sign Nico Gonzalez apparently, so he could be an option as well if they need that. I don't know if that deal will go through, but if it does, I think that's another option for them. So they've got players that can come in and they can do the job, and you didn't even miss him today. So that's really wonderful. Now it's only one game, and I think we have to again quantify that. It's only one game. Who knows what will happen? The second game, maybe Juventus will be abysmal like Napoli and end up losing 2-0 or 3-0. So you never know, and you never really know. In Serie A, you never really know. But the signs are promising, and I think Juventus. I do believe Juventus are now embarking on a new era where they are trying to reduce the average age of the squad. They're trying to rebuild, from a position where they want to start dominating again, but they want to do that, in a different way than what they have been doing thus far. It's a whole new style of play, and from that perspective, I think there's a lot of encouragement to take. And as long as the board keep backing Motta, I think it's important that the board backs Motta. I think that will be important. But I think today he's shown that he's got something about him, and to be fair, he's going to be under a lot of pressure as well. I mean, managing Bologna is one thing, managing Juventus is a completely whole different animal. But I think it's going to take him some time to adjust as well. But I think he's shown that he can handle that pressure, at least for now. We'll see how things evolve. But nonetheless, a fantastic start and a great weekend of Serie A action. I think that concludes our weekend of Serie A action. It's been a great first weekend, to be honest here. It's always great. I think it's wonderful to see that Lazio got such a nice win, Atalanta got a nice win, Juventus got a nice win, and then all the others pretty much just drew a loss. So it's Serie A at its best, isn't it? When it's unpredictable, when you don't know what's going to happen, and who knows what's going to happen next week. But let's keep hoping for more of this wonderful stuff. So well done to Juventus. Smash like for Juventus as well, if you thought that they were fantastic today. Top of the table as well, so well done to them. But of course, it's only game week 1, so you don't win titles at the end of game week 1. So, but nonetheless, they did really well today, and let's see what that brings. But anyway, smash like for that. Share your thoughts on the game. Share your thoughts on Juventus' performance. I thought it was very good. I thought Juventus, probably of all the teams that I've watched, and I've watched quite a few games this weekend, I thought this was the best performance. This was the best performance by a team in this weekend. I know it's only Como and Serie A, and people don't necessarily talk about it. Maybe Marseille, Mason Greenwood did very well at Marseille. Marseille beat Brest 5-1. I thought that some people might say that was better. Maybe I didn't watch that game, but I thought of all the games that I've seen this weekend, I thought this was quite good. Probably one of the better games that I've seen a team perform, because it was very good. It was very good defensively, it was very good in midfield, it was very good in attack. It was a very complete performance, and you don't always say that about games at this level. So that's really, really encouraging. And well done to Juventus, and congratulations to all the fans. Smash a like on this video, do share your thoughts, and also remember to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Always appreciate your support. Very hoping to get some more subscribers. We've done a lot of videos as well, so check out the previous match reaction videos as well if you haven't done that yet. Would really appreciate that. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you again soon. We'll see what other games we're doing. Let me know in the comments as well if you want me to react to certain games that are coming up. Happy to take that as well. But all the links are in the description below, so feel free to reach out and feel free to follow. So thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.